All right, kids, you know what time it is? It's that time every few years again. Expert football analysis. That's right, special Christmas edition. Every once in a while, we have a controversial play in the NFL that puts everybody's ass in a bunch, and I have to come along and straighten it out. And last night, with the Steelers and the Patriots, we had such a thing. Steeler catches the ball or is in the process of trying to catch the ball, breaks the plane of the goal line, bobbles the ball in his hands, it's ruled a touchdown and then overturned. Steelers go on to lose. All hell breaks loose. Steeler Nation shits its pants and throws a shit fit against all of us in Patriot Nation. So I am now going to try to help out and teach you Steeler fans football. Here we go. Now, there are two different types of people involved in this argument. There is the person who argues that the call on the field was correct, but the rule is stupid and dumb and ticky-tack and bullshit. And to them I say, yeah, you're right. 100% on board with that. It's a stupid rule, but it was correctly interpreted last night. Now, if you're one of the types who thinks that the call was made bad and that it was a touchdown and the Steelers got hosed, this video is for you, my friend, because you don't know your football. Okay, we're going to use this carpet here as an example of the goal line. You are in the back of the end zone looking out towards the 50-yard line. Now, all of the arguments that everybody wants to make in this pertain to a player who has possession of the football. Okay? Now, in this instance, the whole chink in the armor is, did the player have possession of the football to the point that you can bring all of these touchdown rules into effect? Now, people are assuming that the man had possession. Now, if this is true, possession rules, say you're a running back. Running back's handed off the ball. At the moment the running back has the ball, you've been given the ball, you're ready to go. At the moment that happens, you are considered to have possession. At that instant, as soon as you have the ball, you're a runner, you've got possession. Now all the other rules come into play. Those rules being whether you break the plane, which you'll see in a goal line, and a quarterback keeper, sometimes a quarterback will do this, they'll take the ball and they'll jump, and all they have to do is get it across the line. No problem. Why? Because they have possession. If you have possession, breaking the goal line is all you need to do. Now, there are people that want to talk about, in this instance, the Steeler player went to catch the ball, was headed to the ground, his knee hit, trapped the ball inside the goal line as he reached for it, and the ball down here kind of juggled a little bit. And the arguments that people want to put forth are that his knee hit as the ball was across the goal line, so therefore he was already down. No. If you have possession and you have been established to have possession, that's the most important thing here. You have been established that you have possession. You've caught it and you've moved up the field. It's been handed off to you and you're moving up the field. Whatever. You have to already be in control of this. At that point, when you go down to a knee, it can be a knee. When you're down here and you're on your knee, or you go down on your elbow or whatever, when you're down to the ground at that point, your calf, that counts, then you're down by contact. If you have already been considered that you have the ball. A receiver, in the act of catching a football, is determined to have the football if he maintains control of it and makes a football move, runs off with it. At that point, he has the ball, and if he gets hit, he can fumble it. But it is complete. It's complete when it's in his hands and he's moving. If he's falling to the ground, if you are falling to the ground when you go to make a catch, you are not considered in possession of the redfish until gravity has taken you to its absolute finish. This isn't enough. This isn't enough. Until you are down and you are here, the ground has done its job. Gravity can't give you any more. If the ball is not loose, it's secured, and it did not bobble, you're considered to catch it. Now let's pretend that this is the 50-yard line, not the goal line. Pick your guy, doesn't matter who it is. Ball hits his hands, he's falling to the ground. Fish wiggles. What is it? Incomplete pass, right? If Julian Edelman in the Super Bowl, in that great catch that he had his hands under it, it didn't bobble, it didn't wiggle, but if it had bobbled in his hands, it would have been it's an incomplete catch. Doesn't matter if this is the 50-yard line, the 20-yard line, the 10-yard line, or the goal line. If you're catching in the process. Now, there's a difference. And if you want to be honest, you've got to watch the tape and know, Steeler fans, you're pulling your own leg. If he caught the ball and then made movement, took a step or two, lunged, fell down and it bobbled. If he had the ball, made a football move, what they'll call a football move, or an athletic move, I guess now is the term. But if you catch the ball and make a move, at that point, you possess the ball, and come what may, if you break the plane and you cough it up, or you trip and over your shoelace, whatever, as long as you've broken the plane, you're fine. But that isn't what happened. At the spot that he caught the ball, he catches the ball and immediately starts to fall. As he's falling, he knows that if he hits the ground, he's going to be a little short. So he reaches out at the same time he's falling. His knee hits, but he's still not all the way to the ground yet. And when he hits the ground, the redfish quivers. That is an incomplete catch at the 50-yard line. It's an incomplete catch at the goal line. It's the same thing. Until, if you're catching, if you're a receiver, until you make it all the way to the ground. I'm not saying it's a good rule. I'm just saying it is the rule. Until you get all the way to the ground and this fish isn't all over the place and you've controlled it to the ground and you haven't lost it and your hands are between the ground and it, you can't trap it, then you've made a complete catch. That isn't what happened last night. Anybody, if that had been the 30-yard line, everybody would have been, oh yeah, you didn't catch it. But they want to include the goal line in there as part of their scenario but it was right at the goal line. If it's right at the goal line, it still doesn't matter. You've got to catch it going all the way to the ground. Then you have possession. Then you can be considered to be doing whatever the other rules are that apply. Doesn't matter if you're breaking the goal line, if you're inbounds, out of bounds, wherever the arbitrary lines are that you need to enforce, they don't get enforced. It goes in order. Possession first, then you factor in your criteria. Where was he? Was his knee down? Etc., etc., etc. But until you are considered to have the ball, you ain't got no redfish. It ain't your redfish. Okay? If it's not your redfish, you can't score with it. There you go. So take those terrible towels and wipe your ass with them.